Hello, America. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to my review of The Family Chantal, Season 1, Episode, almost the finale. Season 1 finale is next week. Okay, so we see Pedro and Chantal. They on the beach. They haven't talked since last night. Pedro says, you ain't give me no respect. Chantal says, you sabotaged the whole situation by translating it wrong. Pedro doesn't understand what purpose he would get from sabotaging it. And Chantal says that none of this is helping us get toward the path of going to see your grandmother, which was the intended purpose of the trip. Pedro says that Chantal was getting loud with his family and over talking, and he just wants the families to be together. Chantal says that the families won't be able to be together if you and he and her aren't united. So she apologizes about not feeling like they were on the same team, and she says that they should get a translator so that communication will be clear. I also say that Pedro's peen must be good because now she's talking about if she can get them to get along in the Dominican Republic, then maybe they can get along in the United States. Anyway, so we see Pedro, he goes to see his sister and mother, and Lydia doesn't understand why they were so hostile toward them. Girl, because Nicole says that the only one who sabotaged Chantal was herself, and Pedro says he knows that, but let's try to fix it. Let's try to fix it for my marriage. He wants them to give her family a second chance. Lydia and Nicole don't want to meet, and when he tells them they'll have a translator, they still don't want to participate. He is reduced to begging, and they finally say, okay, well, maybe we'll think about it. Pedro has to then remind them of the strides that he took to be closer to Chantal's family and that they should do the same. So we see Chantal, Pedro, the families, and the translator. And Lydia says she only came because she doesn't want Pedro to feel like he can't straighten things out and, he's alone. Well, sorry. Did anybody see Nicole switching? Nicole switching up. She said, girl, you ain't got no damn shape. Fuck. Anyway, I ain't gonna say nothing else. Karen says in her confessional that we have no time for foolishness. We have no time for games. Let's get this shit over with so we can move on. River says he don't give a fuck about none of them. Pedro, the mama, or the sister. Fuck them all. That's so mean. Anyway, Karen has brought a coconut so they won't talk over one another. But I think instead of a translator, they needed a counselor. Because I'm like, girl, how much they paying you for this? But they weren't talking over one another, so it was cool. Anyway, Lydia takes the coconut first and says that we won't be able to get past things until we talk about the past, and then we'll be able to move forward. Chantal says that since Lydia wants to bring up the past, then she will ask about how Lydia came with the bullshit to have Pedro marry an American woman and stay married to her until he got his visa, so then he can bring them over there, which honestly, truly, I know that everybody says that it's not the truth, but clearly, anyway, we don't know. Pedro is sick of the lies, sick of the bullshit. Karen says that River found a website with Nicole's name and it seemed like a scam or some human trafficking stuff. Lydia and Nicole both laugh. Nicole says that everything was false that Obed said because they brought up Obed, and that he only said those things because he wanted to hurt the family and hurt her because he has an issue with her. Lydia says that there's a saying in law that if you don't have proof, it doesn't exist. And that's not really saying that you're not a scamming ass bitch. That's just saying you don't have proof that I'm a scamming ass bitch. which is not right. Anyway, Lydia says that she didn't even meet Chantel the first time. And the second time, when she met her, she thought that she'd be a good match for her son. She says that Chantel is like a daughter to her. Chantel says that made her feel good. And maybe they'll, be able to turn over a new leaf, to try a new leaf, as I said. Lydia then invites them to go to the campo, out in the country to meet the grandmother, to be with the grandmother. Thomas says that they're very apprehensive to go, especially after the alley meeting went out of control. So they'll need time as a family to talk about it and decide what to do. Pedro says, well, you know what, Thomas? I came to the Dude Ranch with y'all and I did all of this. And, I tried meeting y'all halfway. And if you don't choose to do this, it'll make things worse. Pedro then says that he needs to go speak with Obed to understand why he's acting like this and spreading lies. I think by the time I watched this, it was getting close to 2 a.m. because for some reason I am not doing correctly. I'm staying up late and waking up late, and it's not right. So I need to get my shit together. But maybe it was the fact that it was 2 a.m. Maybe it was the fact that I had just seen one of the greatest movies of all time. And after that, I had to, watch 90 Day and this. And I was like, y'all, I can sit up here and rewatch my movie. But I was bored as hell. I was bored as hell. Anyway, we see Winter. She hasn't talked to John in a week. And the fact that he lied to her really hurt her, and it makes her feel like the relationship is nothing. So she FaceTimes him to understand why he didn't tell her. He says that he didn't want to chase her away with another kid. That doesn't make sense. He says that he apologizes for hurting her. And she says, well, I really don't trust him now about anything. He says that he takes classes, but how do I know he's really taking classes? He says that he loves me, but how do I know he really loves me? He says he was looking for a perfect way to tell. And she says, well, now the future that I saw between us is completely different. And he says that he's willing to try and make it work and move on. And she says, well, I'm glad you're willing to try and make it work and move on. But guess what? It's not up to you. It's not up to you, nigga. It's up to me. She says, I still need time to think about this. Ja also wants to meet her in person and talk about it, and she agrees. River and Winter are doing their confessional together, and River says that he doesn't think that there's anything that Ja can do to change the fact that he hurt Winter, and the situation will probably just be how the situation is. So the last thing we see, Pedro goes to talk to Obed. Pedro had his head like this. Man, when I tell you, Pedro's just a little bit. Now, Pedro be getting on my nerves. So I do understand, I got to take some cuteness away from him. But Pedro turned around and he looked like this. And I said, you about to kick something off the table? Because this is justified. Obed says, he said what he said because he saw it happening, okay? He lived the experience. He says that the friend set Pedro up to be with an American woman, but the scam fell through because Pedro actually fell in love with Chantal. Pedro doesn't understand why he's poisoning the family with these lies. And Obed is like, why, what, why would I lie about this? Like, why? Like, what purpose would it serve me to lie? Pedro says maybe it's revenge. Obed says, why would I take revenge out on you? You and I have always been cool. If I wanted to take revenge out on anybody, it'd be your mother or your lying ass sister, okay? Obed says that, even if I didn't say anything, y'all still got problems, and this is above me. So really, this ain't my problem. Pedro says, look, it's not your problem. You disappear. You disappear. Let me fix this. Let me handle this. Don't be coming up with no shit no more, okay? Just disappear. Disappear, my guy. Obed says that he'll do that since they've been cool. And Pedro says he doesn't really believe that he will do that because Obed doesn't strike him as a real friend. And that's how the story ends. I did this in 10 minutes. You know why? Because it wasn't really anything that was worth talking about. The season finale will be next week, as I stated. Let's hope it's not 2 hours, because don't come at me. Don't come at me like that. Let's hope we get something that I can write home about, because it's not looking like anything I give a care about. But anyway, if you all like this review, you can like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter. Everything else you need to know about me will be down below. My name is Brio. I make beats. I sing songs. If you like what you see, come on along. Bye.